Hi, Mary Ellen. Thank you so much for taking the time today to and agreeing to this interview. I'm so excited to learn more about you.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to have this conversation.
So, what I know about you is that you've traded the so-called 9 to 5 work job for the craziness of being a coach, solopreneur, entrepreneur. Can you tell me a little bit more? What was the pivotal moment that sparked that shift? And how did you prepare yourself for this crazy journey?
For me and my path, there were many pivotal moments over time. And I think I let myself stay too long in the job and the role that was not working for me. So over time, I got more and more frustrated until there was a peak pivotal moment where I just had it. And I realized that in hindsight, looking back, I was rationalizing that as a music producer in advertising, I was helping people, I was helping the composers, I was helping the creatives. But at the end of the day, I was not fulfilled because I wanted to help people so much more directly. And finally, it was one too many pharmaceutical ads where the disclaimer said this may cause death or this may cause this, that I just really got fed up and started my pathway to gradually leave because I was single at the time. So I didn't have the cushion to just quit on the spot, but I made a plan. I got certified in coaching and I did this very methodical exit strategy out. And it looks like going to school at night on a weekend and then finding a new job that would allow me to work 3 to 4 days. Then it was 3 days. And then finally, when I built up my coaching business and my practice, I was able to leave the corporate altogether. But I liked doing it gradually because I didn't have that luxury of being able to just quit. And some people do have that luxury, and both ways work. But I think if people don't have that cushion, it's much better to do something gradually until you have it built up to some degree where it's provable. It's a proven system.
And I love that idea that you were so strategic in your leaving. I think that is $1 million nugget for our leaders and readers that are looking to leave or create something new is having a plan. So thank you so much for sharing your plan and highlighting how incredibly strategic you were. And I think a lot of women that are in the position where they are fed up and yet not knowing where or how to leave,
Yeah.
your advice on having a plan is priceless.
And I want to say one other thing before we move on, that I was stuck going around and around like this spiral. And as soon as I decided to make a plan and carve out some time and even take these small steps, I really embraced my current role and my current job that I was hating and I was so upset with, and it was draining me. All of a sudden, I had this plan on the side, and it alleviated so much of this stress for me because I had a plan and I was moving forward. I want to say that too for listeners, that just start beginning helps improve your current role that you are frustrated with.
I love that. And again, what I'm hearing also is declare. So you declared.
Yes.
And then I'm hearing clarity.
Yeah.
So you also had very clear path in front of you. I love that there was a mindset shift that happened for you, that you declared, you had the clarity, and then poof, magically, something that you hated started becoming like, okay, now I can digest my daily living because I have exit plan.
Yes, exactly. And for people who don't know what their desire is or their next gig is or their goal or their purpose, even making a plan to spend time to explore it is also what I'm talking about. So not everyone has to know exactly what it is yet in order to make the plan to carve out space to explore what it might be.
I love that. Awesome. So in your corporate world, corporate position, we know that success is often measured in terms of titles and financial gains. As a coach, as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, how have you redefined your own success? And is it still about the bottom line, or is it more about helping and making a difference?
Yeah, it's a huge game changer to know that with that I'm helping people change for the better, and to that fulfillment of knowing I'm helping people to be true to themselves, to find their passion, to move forward in creating, following, and trusting their own inner calling is everything. So that fulfillment has completely replaced all of the other tangible, practical success measures, even though those are still important, but by far, to me, the most important thing. I know that when I finally transitioned fully out of the corporate world, I just had this sense of relief that I knew that I could die happy, that I was doing my soul's work by helping people. And that making a difference and knowing that you want to help people and then knowing that you're doing it is by far the biggest success factor and the deep true fulfillment factor as I see it.
So I love that. And yet I'm going to challenge you a little bit more because I know you are a very data-oriented person.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question for you then it's going to be, what are some of the measurements that you have in place right now for yourself?
Yeah, I like to look at the tangible results that my clients are gaining. And I often, so if I'm teaching a class and I have a workshop, I might have my own personal goals of how many participants I want to have join me and everything. And that's one thing, but then to remind myself every single time that I'm doing this because one person will be benefiting. And it just helps me to think of just one person instead of trying to measure how many people might join and might have this result. So I do like to bring the focus back to who I'm helping and serving. And then for myself, I have different measurement goals, but my most important one is the tangible results my clients are making, like when they come to me and they want to find a fulfilling career or find their soul's work or get unstuck and really express it, and they start doing that. Oh my gosh. Or they want to find their soul partner, or they want to mend relationships, or they want to succeed in their health programs because they can work with people in the different areas of their life. And when they have those results and they're elated and celebrating, it's that's my tangible result and goal that I'm going for, is their success.
Yeah, absolutely love it. And I think if I can add, because you were mentioning that it's making a difference for that one participant. I think what often we forget as coaches and leaders is that it's actually more than just one person, because you are making a difference for that one particular person that goes home, then that makes a difference for their family and their friends. And then it has the beautiful ripple effect that you
Mm.
are actually making a difference and transforming lives of a life of that person, but then it's the lives of the other people that he or she is interacting with. So thank you for that.
And
Yeah.
it's not never really just one person, but you're right. They're the people that you're directly helping. And then there's that huge ripple effect that I love to see years later. People come back to me and explain how they met their soul partner and they have children and they've created a thriving business. And it's just so many beautiful aspects of the ripple effect.
I love it. Transitioning from a very structured corporate environment to very fluid own business requires a lot of learning. Can you share with us specific habits you had to let go of and how shedding these habits reshaped your business?
Yes. So I want to talk about structure. So everyone, I believe, thrives on their own optimal amount of time structure in their calendar. And when I was in the corporate world, I was overscheduled, and there were way too many meetings and way too many demands on my time and my schedule. And so I didn't need to be disciplined or carve out optimize my own time and energy as much, because it was all filled in by the corporate environment. Absolutely takes up your entire schedule. So what I had to unlearn is being overly scheduled and structured to having complete autonomy and complete freedom and complete spontaneity. So I had to learn some self-discipline to really carve out my own structure that works for me. So for instance, I'll coach people one-on-one Wednesday through Friday, and I'll save Monday and Tuesday for marketing. And there's a lot of other aspects of having a coaching business that are involved than just the one-on-one session. So I do that as a rule because it helps me have that structure. So I had to unlearn being overly structured, and then I had to find my own optimal structure. And I've noticed with my clients, everyone has their own. Some people really thrive on a lot of structure, and this could talk to different personality traits. And some people get really boxed in, and I'm one of those that really enjoys a lot of freedom in my schedule. So that's a huge benefit, and a little bit of I wouldn't call it a curse, but something that it's important to manage your time and energy when you have your own business. Have a little self-discipline.
Yep, self-discipline is huge.
Yeah.
As a spiritual coach and a leadership coach, how does the spiritual aspect translates into leadership coaching in the corporate world? And what are some of the challenges that you are facing when talking to a corporate client?
Yeah, so over so many decades of my own spiritual growth learning, I'm a forever student and a forever teacher. I've honed and mastered certain things of intuitive intelligence for myself, and I easily speak about by mastering your vibration and aligning with your higher self and expressing your soul's work in the world. I can easily use that language with my personal spiritual entrepreneur clients. But then I really enjoy the balance and the variety of working within organizations. And I recently got certified in this beautiful leadership assessment tool, where I go in and I work with leaders in corporations and executives. And in that setting, even though I'm doing similar work, I'm helping people access their strengths, their leadership skills and confidence. I'm helping them manage their time and energy so they're more effective and they have more of an impact. And it's the same work, but it just involves slightly different language, because I don't want to turn off people that aren't woo enough or spiritual and talk too much about intuition and your higher self. But really, what I'm doing is very similar. It's helping people access their true strengths and find fulfillment in their personal lives and their professional lives.
So what I'm hearing is being able to leverage emotional intelligence to thrive in a corporate world.
Yes, exactly. And
Love it.
people really do get it. And you can say that ideally people will be centered and they'll have more presence, and their leadership abilities will shine through in the corporate setting. And that's in a way the same thing as saying they're mastering their vibration, they're owning the room. So you can see how those two things are the same in general, but I really enjoy working in different settings and helping people. And so I just fine tune my language a little bit.
The power of language.
Yes.
Your story of transitioning and starting on your own is incredibly inspirational, and there are a lot of women out there that need to hear your message. What advice would you give to those that are standing on the precipice of leaving their corporate roles?
Yes, so I do recommend making sure that your beautiful sacred work, this is your treasured gifts that you're bringing out into the world, are protected and not smothered and pressured too much with time, energy, money requirements. So in order to allow it to evolve in its right way, I do recommend giving it some space and, if possible, gradually leaving the side gig, the day job, until it's you've proven what am I trying to say? It's a proven example. So it's really important not to smother it and to give it space. So experimenting and testing and allowing it to evolve. I think a lot of people want to have the perfect website and the perfect description and the perfect way to explain their niche and their target and their audience. And what I've learned over the 20 years is that it's a constantly evolving, expanding process. So trying not to be too attached to one way, but making sure you get started and incrementally take that action, because the worst is when you're stuck and you're stuck in perfection, trying to be a perfectionist. So as long as you're moving forward incrementally, and you'll know if you have the cushion or not to go full out and quit your day job, or if it's more helpful for you to gradually have a financial base with a side gig to invest in your sacred business. It's really a sacred business that we don't want to pressure too much with all these expectations of having it earn an income in 2 months. I just think allowing it to have space so that it can evolve properly and naturally is really helpful. And sometimes it is a more gradual process. So I do like to, as much as I am spiritual, I like to be practical and not have people get themselves into a situation that would be detrimental to them or to their beautiful business that they're trying to birth.
I love that analogy. So it's birthing, the process of birthing. It's 9 months, right? But then the process of growing a baby, a child, is a lifelong process, I think. So that's such a beautiful analogy. And I love that you're very clear with your message that it doesn't happen overnight. I think there's so much out there in the media, promises of overnight success. And to your point, so far, I don't think we've seen a baby that was born overnight.
Or that stays the same as when they're born, too.
Or exactly, or that it stays the same and it comes with a blueprint or a very prescribed way of doing this, and having the perfect website and perfect niche and perfect everything. It's, to your point, it's constantly evolving. So I think that is a very priceless and very wise advice. Thank you.
And I will say that as much as you want to be responsible, there's nothing more freeing and fulfilling to know than you're actually doing your work in the world and you're making the difference you're here to make. So even if at first it's part-time, that's fine, but don't not do it either. Just really go for it. That's the message.
Go for it. Love it.